June 29th, two worlds collide.
It was June 27th, Sam.
So I've just been reliably informed that I'm a number of days late on the embargo on the new Trek Madone, but the show must go on. Let's take a look. Oh, it's fully built with upgrades. Wait.
Cheers, mate.
It appears to have been ridden as well. So obviously we missed the unboxing on the day of the Trek embargo lift, which was June the 27th. But this bike here we're going to talk about today belongs to Dan, the big boss, the head honcho, El Jefe. Obviously, I'm not into road bikes, we all know this. I can't really talk about this bike and do it justice. Dan knows all about this stuff. He's going to talk you through what's good about this bike and some of the upgrades that he's done to it personally before even taking it out for his first ride. Dan, over to you.
Cool.
So then, Big D, this is your personal Madone that you rudely unboxed a few days ago before we had a chance to film it. Tell me about the ISOFlow on this new Gen 8 Madone.
So the ISOFlow's been reworked a little bit. So what they've done is they've kept the same aerodynamics with it, but they've put more compliance into the seat tube, and that is now 70% more compliant thereabouts than the Gen 7 Madone.
Sounds good to me. And I've heard that they've upgraded the carbon on the frame. That doesn't mean anything to me. Tell me a bit about that.
They have. So they've moved to a 900 series OCLV carbon this time, which is a stiffer and lighter construction, so we can achieve the same weight as the Amonda, but still have the aerodynamics of the Madone.
Nice, nice. And handlebars, they look, I mean, they're still aero, I can see that, but they're a bit fatter as well. What's going on up there?
Yeah. So the aero bar, we were a little bit deeper in this section there, so the idea is it breaks the air, widens the airflow up, and it breaks it round your leg, so you become more aero as part of the bike as well. I've changed mine slightly, so I've gone for a longer stem on this one. That's a 130, and I've gone for the 37 width bars. Cool. With the 40 flare at the bottom.
And the other thing that would be an obvious feature if Dan hadn't left his special water bottles at home in the freezer ready for his hot ride tomorrow, hopefully. But we've got aero bottle cages and bottles, right, on the new Madone. What's happening with those?
So we've gone to a slightly different profile in the tube, and partly to make up the aero on that, they've developed the bottles so they sit close together and they're actually aero shaped. Unfortunately, you're not going to see that today. And
then I mentioned that Dan had done some of his own personal upgrades on this bike, so I believe you swapped the crank out, Dan?
I swapped the crank out. I've gone shorter cranks, 170mm. It increases the cadence, makes it easier to get your pedals round. I recommend it for everyone.
Cool. Different wheels and tyres, I believe, as well, Dan?
They are, yeah. I've gone for the Victoria Pro tyre. It's the fastest rolling tyre I know of, and I think it's probably the fastest rolling tyre anybody knows of. I've also got the liners in there, so if I have a puncture, I don't have to stop immediately. It will hold up on those.
All right, cool, Dan. Thank you for answering my questions. So I believe this is the SLR7, is that right?
The SLR7, yeah.
Cool. And where does this sit in the Trek Madone lineup?
This is kind of middle. This is the first of the SLRs, so this is the team frame set, but with Ultegra. I say I've upgraded a few things on this one, but there is SLR7 and SLR9, and then you've got the AXS options as well on them. And then you've got the SL range, which is SL5, 6 and 7, and those are mechanical 105 for the SL5, Di2 for the SL6, and Di2 Ultegra for the SL7. You can have the SL frame set as a mechanical option, but you can't do that on the SLR. It's Di2 or AXS only.
Cool. And the SLR, is that the same one Mads Pedersen rides?
It is. You can have exactly the same bike as he rides, and you can enjoy time and pretend you are him and probably not be him.
Brilliant stuff. And so, I mean, who is this bike for?
So this is the bike for everyone, really. It really is so comfortable. It's as comfy as the Damani nearly. It really does ride so smoothly. It's brilliant. The aero effect is just as good as the previous Gen 7 Damani at Madone. With the bottle working there as well, and we've got then the weight of the Amonda. You can't want a different bike. This is so fantastic. Come down and get one, guys.
Nice, thank you for that, Dan. So there you have it. This is the Gen 8 Madone. A few days late, you've probably seen it all over the place by now anyway, but we wanted to make a video just giving you our take on it and the take of a bike shop owner who has one of these in his arsenal of bikes. He says it's great. I believe him. He's been doing this all of his life. So yeah, come down and buy one, man.